How you can take care of your eyes while you're reading. First of all, breathe. Remember to breathe while you are reading. The brain and the eyes consume 30% of the oxygen we inhale. So if you want better concentration, comprehension and memory, as well as optimal function of your eyes and vision, you have to breathe. 2, it is very important that you maintain a relaxed posture and attitude, and that you complement this relaxed and present attitude with a samurai's gaze, which we explained in a previous lesson. 3, it is also essential that you blink your eyes. Blinking is extremely important for the eyes and vision. The optimal blinking frequency is at least once every 2 or 3 seconds. In fact, I recommend you that you do an exercise, either with another person or by yourself, looking in a mirror that consists of 3 practices, each one for 1 minute, to become aware of the effect of blinking on your eyes and vision. First, for 1 minute, try to go without blinking and observe how your eyes feel when you don't blink. You can discuss it later with your partner. Second, observe the other person for 1 minute and count the number of times he or she blinks spontaneously, and have him or her do the same for you and report to each other. And 3, finally, set a metronome, stopwatch or timer so that you can give yourself a simple reference to make sure you blink every 2 seconds. Discuss with your partner how your eyes feel after this optimal blinking. So as you read, remember to breathe, to have a good posture, to look with the samurai's gaze, and to blink. As you read, it is also helpful to put a post-it or a bookmark every few pages to remind you to breathe and blink. Every time you turn the page and find the post-it, you can move it a few more pages, and you take the opportunity to look as far away as possible, preferably through an open window, or at least to the furthest place in the room where you are. And then you can continue reading. So this will remind you to breathe, blink, and look far away. In addition to the post-it that says breathe, blink, and look away, every 2-3 pages, I also suggest you to have a second post-it that you will move at the end of each chapter. The end of the chapter post-it says, look out the window, look up, look down, look right, and look left. So the idea is that frequently, for example, every chapter, you take a short break, get up, go get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, stretch, move around, go outside to an open window and look out if you can, without glasses in the way. Breathe fresh air, do some sunning, blink your eyes, move your gaze in all directions, up, down, right and left, and especially towards distant elements that can catch your attention, and move your body a little. If you want, you can even do this Tai Chi, Qigong movement, which mobilizes your whole back. You can also play juggling games with balls so that you can look something in motion. You can also do palming for a moment and then start a new chapter. It is ideal that you set a time to pause. You can decide how often, but if you're going to be reading for many hours in a row, try to pause every 20 minutes, every 40 minutes, or at least, and at a minimum, once per hour. Make the break at least 5 minutes so that you can move around, go to the bathroom, drink water, look away, etc. You can move your body, your eyes and your vision in different ways, and then you can go back to reading with renewed energy and fresh eyes. You can also apply the highly recommended rule of every 20 minutes, look for at least 20 seconds at a distance of 20 feet, which is 6 meters, to relax your eyes. You will want to make sure that your feet are well on the floor and that your knees are at an angle of 90 degrees, yes? You'll also want for your table not to be too high or too low, and you'll notice if it's too high or too low because your shoulders will be tense. Some desks have the capacity to go up and down, and they are even stand-up desks. Those are very interesting because you can adjust to make sure that it's the right side, the right height if you are sitting, but they allow you also sometimes to be standing, and when you're standing as you're reading or working, it's interesting also because you keep in movement. More things about the posture. If you're sitting, you will want to make sure that you have an open position, yeah? If you're reading on a screen, make sure that the screen is high enough that you're not bending your neck, because if your head is bending, it's going to actually be as if it weighed many more kilos than it does. In reality, it's a lot more work for the muscles, so you want to keep your head up and your eyes slightly towards up. If it's on a computer. We'll talk if it's on paper of other options. So you want your position to be open and straight. In this way, you're going to have the less tensions accumulating in your body as possible. And this is important because the reason why we lose focus and we lose the capacity to focus at different distances with our eyes is due to tension that is accumulating in the muscles inside and around the eyes that are those responsible for focusing. But these muscles in the eyes are connected through the fascias to other muscle groups in the body. And so the more you have tensions in your body, the more there's tensions in the eyes. And the more difficult it is to release them. The more you have a good posture, you have mobility for your body, the easier it is for your eyes and the eye muscles to be relaxed and to be mobile. Yeah, this is important. So more things about posture. If you're reading on a book, the book, you probably will want to hold it on a, how do you call that? Stand? Yeah, on a stand. So in Spanish it's called atril. So you'd like to have your book on a stand, so that your head is also not looking too much downwards, and that it becomes very heavy, and then your neck will accumulate a lot of tension. Another possibility is to hold your head. What they told you in school not to do, or at the table not to do, well, it's actually a way to have less weight on your neck. And another thing that probably they told you not to do when you were reading is to use a pointer or your finger to follow the lines. Well, actually, it is very good to do so, and it helps you read faster and follow better. So, if you are reading a book on paper, probably you won't want to do it if it's a screen, because it could damage the screen. But on paper, you will like to have a pointer that has the tip, or your own finger, and to follow the lines. It helps to read faster, to understand better, to follow better. And because there is a coordination between the eye, the brain, and the hand, it actually makes it easier. In the same way as when we write by hand, we remember better than when we type, because of the kind of coordination. Well, when we read with a pointer, it's faster, it's better. Let's talk about palming. Palming is one of the star techniques of natural vision improvement. Have a look without glasses, how you see. It doesn't matter if you see blurry at this moment, it's just to have an impression of the before-after effect of palming. So again, see how well you see light, colors, contrast, depth perception, the width of your visual field. And now we're going to do a bit of palming and we'll compare. So, some people like to rub their hands to make them be warmer, and that's helpful. And some people like to shake their hands so that if there's any tension in the muscles in the hand, they're released. Some people like to activate the energy in their hands when they are knowledgeable in energy techniques. Well, in any case, the idea is that your hands are relaxed, so that that's what they're going to convey to the eyes. So you're going to put your hands in the shape of a spoon now, yeah, not flat, because if they're flat, they could convey some tension or some pressure to the eyes. So you're going to put them in a spoon-like position. You're going to cross your fingers, doesn't matter which hand goes in the front and which in the back. And you'll put your fingers on your forehead so that your hands, the palms of your hands, are covering your eyes. And you will close your eyes. If you have contact lenses, you want to remove the contact lenses before. And of course, you don't wear any glasses when you're doing the palming. You already remove them to do this quick evaluation. If you can, it's more restful if you can put your elbows on a table or on your knees or on some cushion so that you're not holding your arms and they weight and they create tensions on your shoulders. Yeah? And so, an important detail also, as you have your hands over your closed eyelids, your palms over your closed eyelids and the fingers over your forehead, it's very important that you verify how is your breathing. Because if you're constraining your breathing, well, that's not going to be any relaxing at all, and it's not going to bring oxygen to your brain, so that's not going to help you either. So make sure that you can breathe deeply as you are doing the palming, and with your eyes closed, make sure that the space with your covered eyes with your palms is as dark as possible. Now, as we're doing the palming, why does palming work? And so you can keep doing palming while I'm explaining this. So on the one hand, there's heat in your hands, yeah, there's energy in your hands, but just the heat in your hands helps relax the muscles around the eyes and in the eyes. Yeah, so this is one of the properties of palming that help you see better afterwards. The more your eyes are relaxed and the better you see. We'll do another little exercise later that will prove this. The more your muscles in your eyes are relaxed, the more they can move and the more they can create the proper focusing that you need for the distance of objects. Yeah, so you want your muscles in your eyes to be relaxed so that you can focus properly at different distances. This is reason number one why the palming works. And the other reason why palming is so good for your eyesight is that it creates darkness. And when your eyes are not exposed to any kind of light, and that's why you want to make this space as dark as possible, then your nervous system can rest. You're going to gently, slowly remove your hands from your closed eyelids, millimeter after millimeter, observing the colors that you see on your closed eyelids. You could start perceiving red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, purple. You could see any color as you are removing your hands progressively from your closed eyelids. Observe the colors that you see on your closed eyelids. They could be different from one time to another. They could be changing as you're removing your hands from your face. The colors that you see depending on what has happened just before the palming and your state, and it's okay if you see different colors. And when the color that you see in your closed eyelids doesn't change anymore, then you can remove the hands, you can make them rest on your lap, for example, and you keep your eyes closed for the moment because we're going to do a special opening after the palming. We're going to do the opposite of blinking. We're going to take a snapshot. That is, we're going to open our eyes one moment and close them immediately, and we will remember what we saw. And when we don't remember it anymore, we will imagine what we saw. So we can take a snapshot, open the eyes a moment, close them again, and remember what you saw as long as possible. And when you don't remember anymore what you saw, then imagine what you saw. And then you can turn around with your eyes closed, look somewhere else, open for a moment, take a snapshot, close them again. Remember what you saw. And when you cannot remember it anymore, then imagine what you saw. Memory and imagination are very linked to eyesight. So when we are training our memory and our imagination, we are helping ourselves see clear as well. Turn around in some other direction, take a snapshot, and close the eyes again, and remember what you saw with as much detail as possible. And when you cannot remember anymore, imagine what you saw. You can do this snapshot after palming 3 to 5 times, something like that. And after that, we can do butterfly blinking. So you can imagine that your eyelids are like the wings of a butterfly, and the butterfly is flying, the butterfly is moving, so you're blinking very lightly, very fast, so that you get your eyes used to light again. And now you can take a look around and see what has changed. How do you perceive light? Raise your hand if you see more light than before the palming, if you notice more light. Okay, I see some hands going up. Okay, more and more hands, that's good. Now, how do you see colors? If you see colors more intense, more bright, or more shades of different colors, then you can raise your hand as well. Okay, and we just did it for a few instants. Okay, I see hands rising as well. Now, maybe I didn't ask about it, but notice textures. Do you see textures with more detail than before? And if it is the case, you can raise your hands. Yeah? Has your perception of textures improved? Okay, I see some hands raising as well. Good. How about contrast? Do you see a more clear contrast between black and white? Then if you see contrast better, you can raise your hand as well. So I see a number of hands raising. Great. Okay, what else? Do you see the void space, and do you see the 3 dimensions of objects better than before the palming? And if so, you can raise your hand. So I see Jan and Lawrence and Therese and Rose, Gail, Monisha, Kavita, Tony, okay, Antonia, Maria, Esther. I see a number of people raising their hands. Okay. Now, oh, hi Juliet, I hadn't seen you earlier. There you are. And if you had some letters that you had looked at, maybe you had some eye charts or small print, or maybe simply in your environment there's letters. I see that Therese is seeing better, far away, you can have a look. And those of you who see letters better, you can raise your hand. So Loretta and Joy, and who else? Well, you're raising it digitally. Dave, Ellen, Jill, Gail, Ute. So there's also a number of you who are seeing better. Juliet, Kavita, Monisha also, Audrey. So there's a number of you who are seeing better. And we just took a very, very short moment to do palming. So imagine if you practice this technique every day for a few minutes here, a few minutes there. Just with this technique you can improve your eyesight in a noticeable way. And of course, within the program, there are more techniques that you can use to improve your eyesight to read better.